Let's jump to the story. That's from the New York Post. Oh boy. We're going for it. Charlie Kirk wrote of his deep love for Israel in letter to Netanyahu about how to counter rising opposition to the Jewish state in the U.S. I think I have the... oh, no, this is another post that we'll bring up in a second, which is terrifying. But to get to the letter, the New York Post says... Oh, it's right here. Okay. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk advised Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on how to counter anti-Israel sentiment among Gen Z and win the information war being waged against the Jewish state, according to a letter obtained by the Post. Kirk wrote to Netanyahu in the May 2nd missive that he was alarmed by anti-Israel and anti-Semitic trends hitting record levels on social media, since one of his greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews in the fight to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. My team and I have spent months analyzing these trends and debating ideas that could help you and your country push back against these disturbing developments, he said in a letter. Reproduced in full below for the first time, anti-Israel sentiment can undermine American support for Israel. What's interesting about this, I suppose, is there was a debate raging online that Charlie was turning against Israel, and it's part of this conspiracy theory, which is within hours, the conspiracy theorists were claiming Israel killed Charlie Kirk. I can say I don't understand what the goal of such a claim would be, but I think there are people who just plumb hate Israel no matter what. So any opportunity they have to say that. And you know, the funny thing is, no matter how many times I say it, guys, I don't care if you like or don't like Israel. You're free to criticize them. Please do. They're a government in a country. You can criticize anybody. I still get called a shill for Israel and all of that stuff for simply pointing out, guys, we have evidence. We have a general idea of what happened. But I suppose I just, ask the man himself your view on all of this, because just you tell me, because I'm not going to put words in your mouth.
Is this letter verified? Is this letter true?
Yeah, I mean it's real. Yeah.
Why is there this idea? I'm going to put it like this. Nick Fuentes called it conspiratard-ish that people were claiming Israel killed Charlie. And it was really funny. He was like, if Ben Shapiro died, they're going to claim Israel did it. And they're claiming now that Nick Fuentes got the call. Israel called him and told him to
yeah.
It's crazy in my opinion, but I'm curious why you think people are pushing this and just what the truth is.
I think Charlie's views on Israel were nuanced. There's no doubt about it. He was frustrated. He was, I talked about this with Alex Clark's podcast, Cultural Apothecary, and I don't know, it's got millions of views or something like that. She told me. Yeah, I mean, listen, he for Charlie, it was very clear. He wanted people who controlled the Holy Land to be civilized people. He didn't want it to be in the hands of Islam, for example, right? Charlie looked at it as like, we have a civilized group that is friendly to the West, and we have uncivilized, basically. We have these Muslim nations that are very hostile. A lot of them are openly terrorists, right? Towards Israel, towards America. Who would you rather have control of the Holy Land? That was one really basic thing, right? The other thing was that he was really frustrated that he wasn't allowed to criticize Israel without being labeled an anti-Semite, right? So the truth is that he had vehement disagreements with the way they were prosecuting the war. He had vehement disagreements about the way that they were messaging about different things. He wanted it to be over. He thought it was unfortunate that it was dragging on so long. And but he realized that he had more freedom to criticize America in many ways than he did criticize Israel.
Yeah. Well, even Tucker Carlson was bringing up the point of how Charlie Kirk was being labeled anti-Semitic himself, and how he found that personally very offensive. Now, for me, I think BB's comments are kind of weird throughout all of this, and I don't think it helps the kind of discourse and what's going on here. Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk were talking about this issue also a couple weeks before it happened, and I thought their comments were also kind of very important and very nuanced, because there was things that I agreed with Charlie on, some of the things I disagreed with, but he was able to have that conversation and that debate. He was hosting individuals like Dave Smith and other critics and being able to give them a voice. And there were people that were saying, you got to shut down Tucker Carlson. You got to shut down all these critics and all these people who present the other side, when he was just presenting a debate too.
Well, and he was very cognizant of the fact that, young people were much more Israeli skeptic, right? We were hearing it all the time. And he did not, if Charlie would have gone out there and just said, we're not allowed to have this conversation, that would have been a huge disservice to the conservative movement, because ultimately Charlie was one thing: America first. Yeah. He really was. He loved America. He cared about Israel. There's no doubt. And he had a long history of advocating on behalf of Israel, standing up against BDS movements and this and that. And so imagine being Charlie Kirk, where you sent pro-Israel signage to your chapters. You did a Young Jewish Leadership Summit. One of your most important mentors in your life is a Jew, Dennis Prager. And you have this great history of being all of these things that Israel should have been very excited about. And yet you were still criticized the moment you didn't do one thing, because you have a deep friendship and mutual respect with Tucker Carlson. He was extraordinarily frustrated by that. And when he would get hit, one of my favorite parts about Charlie, and Tim, I know you would appreciate this, but they would say, well, you gotta cancel Tucker Carlson. He'd be like, well, then maybe he's gonna give 2 speeches at AmFest now. Yeah, honestly, you're gonna try and morally blackmail me? Yep. Screw you. I'm not playing this game, because guess what? You don't run Turning Point, I do. And I love that about him. It was one of my, and people also have to understand, Charlie was extraordinarily loyal to his friends. Even if he saw Tucker saying something that he didn't agree with, maybe privately to me and Blake or something, he'd be like, where's he going with this? But he would never say something publicly. Because Tucker is his friend. Yeah, they're actual friends, and you saw that with Candace even. Charlie and Candace, they had a long history together, long friendship. So it's just people expected him to just come out and be like, I disavow and all this. Well, that's just not the way Charlie worked.
Yeah, it was far more nuanced.
So much nuance.
There was also a lot of heat.
And by the way, the internet doesn't like nuance.
Exactly.
The internet is
they want black or white.
Black or white.
Tell me where you stand. Charlie had a more nuanced take on this, but then I was also hearing that there was a lot of heat, especially when Tucker Carlson was at the last SAS meeting, and he talked about how Epstein was Mossad, and then he brought up Bill Ackman, and he brought up all these other people behind the scenes, and then that brought up this type of situation where people were calling Charlie, saying, cancel him, don't let him speak ever again. And a lot of people...
Charlie's dug his heels. Yeah. He's like, no thanks. We're gonna confirm him right now.
I'd imagine that, especially in dealing with someone like Charlie, the way that's described is probably a bit more exaggerated. I'm sure he got a call where people were like, I don't like that Tucker was saying these things. Charlie tried to persuade him.
Listen, yes, it is probably more exaggerated. Was the pressure campaign real? Yeah, but it was we have a long history of, there's a couple things that Charlie did at Turning Point that in retrospect were critically important to the fact that I think Turning Point's going to grow. Right, and we're going to be not just okay, but Erica's amazing, the leadership, the team is amazing, and one of those is that he never accepted foreign money, because there was this whole rumor of did you take money from Israel? So I was like, I didn't even have to call anybody to verify it. No, because I knew Charlie for years turning down foreign money, and people would there was instances where foreign people would try and wire, they would somehow get the wire info, and they would just send a wire in, and they would kind of force us to take the money, and Charlie would have it all refunded back. So I just and we don't take money from foreign governments, nothing. Charlie is proudly American funded and American made, and America first. Charlie loved America. He loved this country. And so anyways, it's not even an issue.
But I want to ask you about this one other conspiracy that I'm seeing a lot more now as well, and it's that you and Erica aren't reacting properly.
Oh.
And yes. So I've given my thoughts on the matter, and I've pushed a little back. There are people saying, they don't seem to be sad. What's going on?
What's weird about that? It's I went from so it happens. We fly instantly to Provo. I'm so devastated that I can't, obviously do the show on Thursday. I didn't even consider it. Actually, Jack took the Charlie Kirk show on the Thursday after it happened. And then Steve Bannon flew out there.
Wow.
Because he just, I don't know what his impulse was. It was I just need to be close to you guys. Let me know how I can help. And so he does his show close by, and he says, Like, I really think it's important you come on. And I was like, all right. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I remember I read the eulogy that we posted on Turning Point's website. And I basically, was such a mess. I couldn't get through reading the eulogy. Just like, and I remember feeling like, cause I'm not, I'm got this training in me. Like you're a man, you don't cry.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like even been around Trump, it's like Trump doesn't like guys that cry. Like all these things are going through my head. Like I gotta like keep this together. I'm gonna be strong for Charlie. I know Charlie would want us to like soldier on and like keep the mission going. And I just like couldn't get through it. I'm just like losing it. And I felt so like almost embarrassed by that. I mean, I knew that it was people were gonna give me, they were gonna understand like what we were going through. But then we get back to Phoenix after we did the dignified transfer. J.D. Vance came, picked us up in Air Force 2 out of Provo, flew us from Salt Lake City, flew us down to Phoenix. And we did the show the next day, and we were all just like a mess, the whole show. But people loved that show because they were grieving and they wanted to grieve with us. But like the other thing I would just say is, so I go from feeling like I'm showing too much emotion on air to feeling like, I haven't heard too much of that, to be fair. I maybe I'm just insulated. Maybe my algorithm's different, but yeah, just kind of, people saying that stuff. I saw some people commenting that about Erica when she came on. It's like, what do you expect her to do? Just performative cry for you whenever you think that she should? Like, how dare you tell a grieving widow how she's supposed to grieve? And by the way, how dare you tell me how I'm supposed to grieve when one of my best friends in the whole world, my business partner, my partner in crime for 8 years gets brutally assassinated in front of the whole world? Like, shame on you. Shut up.
Yeah, I think those are just like demonic evil attacks on you guys.
Yeah, but
I mean,
no, for real. But and the other thing is, it's like Charlie would want us to march on. He would, and that means that I gotta like put my pant legs on every morning, one leg at a time, put my shoes on, look myself in the mirror, and get ready for game time. Like I have to, because guess what? That's what Charlie would want me to do.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.